In the US accounting world right now, there's a huge gap opening up. Some firms are absolutely thriving, while others are, well, they're just trying to keep their heads above water. So what's the secret? It's not what you think. It's a quiet but incredibly powerful operational shift that we're about to break down.
Yeah, this probably sounds familiar, right? For so many of you, this is the daily reality. The pressure is just relentless, and it feels like it's coming from every single direction. But what's really causing this crisis?
Well, it's not just one thing. It's really a perfect storm of challenges, all hitting at the same time and pushing firms right to their breaking point. Let's dig into the 4 key pressures that are making things so tough.
Okay, first off, the talent pipeline is seriously drying up. The number of accounting grads has been dropping for the last decade, and it's a huge problem. Second, you know that busy season? Come on, it's a busy year now. It's a year-round grind, and that's leading to massive burnout. On top of that, you've got clients who expect more, they want it faster, and the pressure for absolute perfection has never, ever been higher.
So with all this pressure, you've got to wonder, how are some firms not just surviving this, but actually thriving? What are they doing differently? What's the secret?
Well, the answer isn't some magic hiring strategy. It's way deeper than that. It's a fundamental change in how they operate, a really smart strategic move that's quietly changing the entire game.
And here it is. This is the secret sauce, a hybrid model. The most successful firms are keeping their client-facing experts right here, local, while they partner with dedicated offshore teams to handle all the heavy lifting in the background.
And what's really fascinating here is the why. This isn't just about cutting costs anymore. That's old thinking. For the more than 90% of firms using this model, it's a strategic play. It's about solving those core operational problems we talked about and building a stronger, more efficient firm for the long haul.
So why India? It's really no accident that it's become the global center for this kind of support. There's this incredibly powerful and mature ecosystem already in place, and it's almost perfectly designed to meet the needs of US firms. Let's take a look at what that ecosystem actually gives you.
Okay, let's break down the key advantages. First, you get instant access to this massive pool of skilled professionals who are experts in US GAAP. That's the accounting standard used in the US. Second, that time zone difference creates something amazing, a 24-hour work cycle. And finally, there's this deeply ingrained culture of process discipline and quality focus, which for you means fewer bottlenecks and execution you can actually count on. Let's just double-click on that 24-hour cycle for a second, because it's a game changer. It creates what we call a continuous workflow. Think about it. Your US team can hand off complex tasks at the end of their day and literally wake up the next morning to find that a huge amount of progress has been made overnight. What seems like a challenge, the time difference, becomes a massive competitive advantage. All right, so that's the big idea. But what does this hybrid model actually look like in the real world, on a day-to-day basis?
This slide, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. It's a perfect match. Your senior, high-value local talent is freed from the daily grind. They get to focus on what they do best, talking to clients, doing high-level strategic reviews, and making those critical technical judgments. Meanwhile, the offshore team is laser-focused on the structured, detailed execution work that forms the bedrock of every single engagement.
I mean, just think of the thousands of hours that go into tasks like these. Substantive testing, prepping all those work papers, rolling forward the prior year files. It's detailed, it can be repetitive, and it's absolutely perfect for a dedicated offshore team that excels at this kind of structured work.
And it doesn't stop with traditional audit and tax work. This model is making a huge impact in the super complex world of fund accounting, where speed and, most importantly, accuracy are everything.
In fact, offshore teams are now handling critical functions for private equity, venture capital, and hedge funds. We're talking about everything from daily NAV calculations and investor allocations to preparing financial reports and running full reconciliation cycles. These are tasks where there is absolutely zero room for error.
So, how does all this come together to actually build a firm that's not just surviving, but is ready to scale? Because this is about so much more than just outsourcing a few tasks. It's about architecting a fundamentally smarter business.
Look, a successful offshore model isn't some set-it-and-forget-it solution. Not at all. It's a real partnership, and it's built on 4 key pillars: specialized training focused on US-specific work, a rock-solid multi-step quality review process, year-round workflow continuity to keep things moving, and totally secure integration with your firm's data and systems.
And when firms get this right, wow, the results are transformative. The #1 benefit they report? A huge reduction in team burnout.
that is followed closely by faster delivery times to clients, and maybe most importantly, a real tangible increase in their capacity to take on new business without breaking the entire system.
So here's the bottom line, the key takeaway from all of this. The firms that are winning today have stopped trying to solve a systems problem by just hiring more people. They've shifted their entire mindset. They're building smarter, more scalable systems that don't depend on a never-ending supply of new talent.
So, we'll leave you with this one last question to think about. Take a hard look at your own firm. Is its operating model truly built for growth, or is it just built for survival? The answer to that question could very well determine your future.